Hi friends, I'm Hasirius. Today we're going to the how to change your dragon topic. This video will be top 10 strongest dragons in how to change your dragon and is divided into 3 parts, 3 videos to be able to analyze in more detail the power of each dragon. The first video will contain the first 4 dragons. Okay, no more introductions. Let's get started.
Number 10, the Snow Wraith. In this position, I was very confused because there are many dragons with high attack power as the Snow Wraith, and also have very special skills such as Shadowing, Singe Tail, Razor Whip. But in the end, I still chose the Snow Wraith because this dragon has a very special habitat. The snow-covered environment and blizzard. This limits the power of other dragons, making the Snow Wraith almost invincible in its environment. In addition, their teeth are the sole tool that can unlock the informative Dragon Eye device, an extremely important item in Dragon Race to the Edge. Snow Wraith belongs to the Strike class. Strike class dragons are characterized by their high speed, good jaw strength, and extreme intelligence, as well as pinpoint accuracy, powerful attacks, explosive firepower, and a unique ability to allow them to navigate in their respective environment and atmosphere. Well, the appearance of the Snow Wraith reminds me of the blue-white dragons in Yu-Gi-Oh! Special wing structure helps Snow Wraith move easily on 4 limbs. Information size medium, length 9 and 1400ths meter, wingspan 14 and 6300ths meter, weight 408 and 2/10 kilograms. This dragon has a long ledge under its chin and what resembles thick eyebrows. The Snow Wraith has a thermal vision that allows it to track prey even during the most blistery blizzard. Frost Fusillade. The Snow Wraith has a very special attack method. They compress the gold ear in their mouths into light and fired them at high speed. When the shot hit the target, they would explode. The accuracy of the shots was so high that they almost never miss the target. Speed. Snow Wraiths are incredibly fast and are one of the fastest dragons. They can fly through powerful blizzards without much resistance. Stealth. Extremely good at hiding ability in snow-covered environment helps them to observe and track prey without being detected. When snowstorms come, their prey won't be able to recognize until they are beaten. Snow Wraiths are said to have incredibly acute senses of hearing and touch. They can sense the slightest shifts in their environment, from the fall of snow to the fluctuating temperatures of the island, and they utilize this to hunt their prey. Most of the Strike class dragons are very smart. In addition, the Snow Wraith is rated to have better stamina than Night Fury. Dig a tunnel in ice and snow. The Snow Wraith is able to burrow through ice and snow with its claws. They are able to burrow very fast as a whispering death, even through solid ice. It is a very effective method and can be used for flanking enemies in an ice cave. Statistics: attack 18, speed 18, defense 22, firepower 24, jaw force 8. With all the above advantages, the ability of Snow Wraith to fight is extremely strong. It is strong enough to take down a Shrill. Defect: to defeat this species, you just need to drag them out of the snowstorm or attack them on a sunny day. Blue eyes, though beautiful, but they're almost impossible to see. If you're stuck with a Snow Wraith during a blizzard, hide your body temperature by burying it in the snow They won't be able to detect you. Number 9, Flightmare. 9th place belongs to Flightmare. Characteristic is neon green skin. Flightmare was the awe of the people of Berk. Strike class Flightmare is extremely stable in speed and agility, so Flightmare can catch up to Night Fury in a short distance. Information: size, medium, length, 9 and 1400ths meters, wingspan, 15 and 2400ths meters, weight, 272 and 2/10 kilograms. Skill: Flightmare are capable of controlling how bright they can glow for a limited amount of time after consuming the algae, and can use this ability. The Flightmare can strike with a toxic mist that temporarily paralyzes the victim from head to toe, giving itself enough time to return and finish it off. Inherited the speed and precision of the strike class, Flightmare was virtually unrivaled when fighting mid-sized dragons. This dragon was able to catch up to Toothless. Even so, when Toothless was trying to get away from the Flightmare, it quickly boosted in front of him to prevent his escape. Flightmare can create a scream like Screaming Death, although weaker, but still capable of reducing the fighting power of prey. The statistics of Flightmare: Attack 10, Defense 4, Firepower 7, Jaw Force 4. Although not able to attack very strong, but with special control skills, very few people and dragons dare to confront Flightmare or invade their territory. However, Flightmare's deadly weakness comes from its power. The reason they have the ability to glare as well as to paralyze opponents is due to a type of glowing algae. Flightmare depends entirely on the food source that makes the opponent easily take advantage of loopholes to attack. Number 8, Death Song. Death Song has an eye-catching appearance, beautiful wings that can make any butterfly jealous. To stay in 8th place, Death Song has a very special way of hunting. Using death songs, Death Song hypnotizes the prey to the position of ambush, and it is able to project its song towards specific targets up to a mile away. After striking its prey, the Death Song covers it in an amber-like substance which traps and preserves victims. This cocoon is remarkably strong, and it is only penetrable by flames. Statistics: Attacks 16, Speed 17, Defense 16, Firepower 13, Jaw Force 10. Also, their jaw force is quite strong. It can swallow a Gronkle within minutes. 2 special skills of Death Song make very few dragons to become their opponents. Most of the dragons who dare to enter the territory of Death Song will be turned into meals. One more detail is that Death Song is not afraid of eels like other dragons. Death Song has no weaknesses. The only problem they have is that the Song of Death does not affect the Thunder Drum. 7. The Screaming Death. Born every 100 or so years, the Screaming Death has all the strengths of its subordinate cousin, the Whispering Death, with none of its weaknesses. Screaming Death belongs to the Boulder class. Boulder class dragons are tough and are associated with the earth. They mostly eat rocks, but they can eat meat and fish like other dragons too. Although they have small wings relative to their body size, they are able to fly as fast and as high as most other dragons can. Screaming Death is usually white has a round head, small wings, long tail, and twists like a drill when flying. The right aerodynamic structure makes them able to achieve extremely fast speeds despite the small wings. The scales appear to give it extreme protection against most attacks, including a deadly Natter's spine shot or a Night Fury's plasma blast. Information. The size is large, length is 15 and 24/100 meters. The wingspan is 3 500 meters. The weight is 1,134 kilograms. The statistics: the attack 16, speed 8, defense 20, firepower 10, jaw force 11. Skill. Screaming Death's screams disorient the enemy, temporarily deafening those who have to listen to it for too long. The Screaming Death compressed the flames in his mouth and fires each bullet like cannons, with extremely high rate of fire, causing great damage. Like other whispering deaths, the Screaming Death can tunnel underground using its strong jaws and spike-ridden skin. However, its tunnels are much bigger, allowing it to sink islands with little difficulty. The Screaming Death is intelligent enough to learn from its mistakes and adapt to enemy strategies. The Screaming Death is relatively intelligent, as it did not fall for the reflection of Hiccup's shield the second time. Screaming Death is also an alpha dragon. A dragon of this type can control or send orders to other dragons. Mostly dragons have the same class. The Screaming Death is capable of controlling other dragons to a certain degree. However, Screaming Deaths can be controlled by larger alpha dragons, such as the Bewilderbeast. As a giant dragon with incredible power, besides the available defense of the Boulder Dragon, Screaming Death became one of the 3 formidable opponents of Toothless and Night Fury. They can directly attack the lives of the people of Berk. The other 2 are Red Death and Bewilderbeast. The weakness of the Screaming Death is just like the other great dragons with incredible speed. Their navigation is very poor. The proof of this is that Screaming Death smashed his head to the ground while chasing Toothless and Night Fury. Besides, Screaming Death's wings are quite weak, so that it can become an easy target.
Okay, so the part 1 of the top 10 strongest dragons in How to Change Your Dragon has ended. There are still 2 more videos on this topic. Please subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell to not miss my next videos. Now goodbye and see you again.